Welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. So today we're going to saw some cherry on the mill, and it's been a long time since I've sawn any cherry, but this is black cherry, okay? Also known as, and I can never pronounce this, Prunus serratina. I believe that's how you say it. Black cherry or American cherry. This has a range. It's native to eastern North America, from Minnesota and Ontario east to New York and south, all the way to Texas and Florida. It's a reddish-brown heartwood. It darkens with age and exposure. It has a fine, straight grain and occasionally curly and figured. Occasionally. Now, way back in the Native American era, they used it for medicinal purposes. They had a bark tea that was supposed to help with coughs, and the inner bark was used for tonics. Now, you wonder, who was the first person to try that? Like, rip some bark off the tree and make tea out of it and figure out it'd help with a cough. Who knows? The wood was used for small tools, pipes, and handles. Now, during the colonial period, early settlers used cherry for cabinetry and simple furniture due to its workability and warm color. Less prominent than walnut or oak at the time, but valued regionally, especially in Pennsylvania and Appalachia. Now, in the 1880s, what many call the golden age of furniture making, it became a favored wood for shaker furniture known for clean lines and practicality. Used in joinery, cabinetry, and interior millwork, often stained to mimic mahogany when imported mahogany became scarce or expensive. Now, in the 1900s to present, it became a staple in high-end furniture, kitchen cabinetry, and architectural millwork. It's preferred for dining tables, fine furniture, paneling in banks and government buildings, musical instruments, interior trim, and moldings. Now, cherry has excellent workability. It machines well, glues well, and finishes very easily. It ages beautifully. It starts light, pinkish red, darkens to a rich reddish brown. It's also a very stable wood as well. It doesn't have a lot of movement in it and changes with the humidity. Has a fine, smooth texture. It's ideal for detailed joinery and carving. Now, like I said, cherry grows in a lot of different places, but there's something you must know. The best cherry, without a doubt, it grows on the Allegheny Plateau, which runs throughout Pennsylvania, New York, and West Virginia. You can find pockets of really good cherry throughout the East, but generally speaking, the Allegheny Plateau is where this stuff grows the best. And nobody really knows why. I think it's a combination of things. Between elevation, the Allegheny Plateau right underneath the subsoil is like a seam of sand rock, and you get into some good cherry in the higher elevations down in West Virginia, New York State. But the best of the best is north of here, about 80, maybe 90 miles, up near Kane, Pennsylvania, as a matter of fact. It's called the black cherry capital of the world. It just grows. It's unbelievable. They grow like telephone poles up there. I mean, 35, 40 feet without a limb, beautiful color, hardly any mineral to it at all. That is where the best cherry in the world comes consistently, is from Northwest Pennsylvania, without a doubt. There's no arguing it. Now, like I said, cherry is not as popular as it used to be. I'm still a big fan of it, and it may come back at some point. Everything kind of seems to run in cycles, but today it's still used for a variety of different things. Like furniture, including desks, tables, and chairs, cabinetry, kitchen cabinets remain a leading use. Architectural millwork like trim, stair parts, and paneling. Even gun stocks occasionally used due to its stability and workability. And then, of course, your small craft items like bowls, cutting boards, turn pieces, due to the beautiful finish. It's also a very abundant wood. It grows pretty much everywhere. Like I said, you don't always find the good stuff, but generally speaking, it's readily available. I visited a sawmill, a big operation, probably 15 years ago, up north where the real good stuff grows, and they have thousands and thousands of acres of just beautiful cherry, and they never buy any logs. They're all their own logs, and by the time, they cut an area, they select cut it, and they manage their forests, they always have an ongoing supply of cherry. I'd be curious to know you know, what their cherry sales are like now compared to 10 or 15 years ago. I'm sure there's a bit of a decline. I would like to see a comeback just because it is a beautiful wood. I mean, let me show you. I mean, look at that. How can't you like that? This will turn a deep, dark, reddish brown. Now, this is a decent log. There are a few mineral streaks in it here and there. I actually like them. Some consider that a defect. But it is just a beautiful, beautiful wood. And it's a fine wood to work with. It really is. It sands easily, finishes nice. Just a great all-around hardwood. They used to actually call cherry the New World mahogany because it's somewhat similar to mahogany, but it was a lot more readily available here, obviously, and a lot cheaper. I got to run out for a little bit, and I think the hunt man is ready to go somewhere, so I'm going to go do that. And then when I come back, we'll finish sawing this up, and we'll get a tally of how much we got out of this. But this is actually a better log than what I thought it was. This one was about 17.5 inches in diameter one way and about 20 the other way. It was kind of oblong. Now that one there, that's a monster right there. That's another cherry. What I like to do, you know, when I'm sawing, I guess I have a method to my madness here. You know, that's all red pine. That's all plain sawn red oak. That's 8/4 walnut. Up top, I've got some 6/4 walnut. This is all quarter sawn red oak from here down. Quarter sawn white oak. I'll put some more stringers on there. We'll put maybe 400 board feet of cherry on top of that stack, and then a few live edge slabs on top of that. And we'll start another pile over here with I don't even know what yet. Just building inventory for my retirement fund. right, it is first thing in the morning. Had a busy morning here so far. I didn't get that cherry finished last night. I got into a bunch of other stuff, but we're gonna finish it up this morning. And I had to get ready for a little project later on today. I think probably around 11 or noon, I'm gonna take the dump trailer and the mini skid. I got the log grapple on, and we're gonna go get some big logs from a job that Jordan Miller's working on. I think he's gonna be out there, maybe one of his guys, so it should go pretty quick. We'll have to see. But right now, I need to do a little bit of maintenance on the mill, and then we will finish up this cherry. right, so check this out. Here is the center of the log right here, the pith. I could get one more piece right here, but I want to show you something. These are all perfectly clear, but as we get closer to the pith, you'll start to see some defects. That one's good. That one's good. It's got a little mineral in it, but I like the mineral. That one's good. That one's good. It's gonna make a liar out of me. No, there. See all the knots as we get closer to the pith down there at the center? So the closer you get to the center, the more imperfections. I'm not gonna saw any more on this one right here. We'll just use this for cribbing. All right, I got about 85 or 90 board feet out of that one log. It's really nice stuff. Most of it is all clear. Some of them are like 8 inches wide. Some of the wide ones, 12 inches, 6 inches. Really nice stuff. I screwed up one board. What happened was, I showed it on camera. I flipped the cant and it ended up right on top of this and I didn't know it. So I had to make a correction. Ended up losing one board, but that happens. I'll saw a few more cherry logs, get this up to about, I don't know, this high right here. And then we'll probably do some live edge, put on top of that. It's one of the things, if you're considering buying a sawmill, here's the only advice I can offer. You need somewhere to stack all the lumber. And I know that doesn't sound like a big deal. I see a lot of people, they'll just stack it outside, not under roof, and that's fine. They might throw a piece of tin on the top of it, but their piles aren't level. It's not stickered properly. If you're going to go to all this trouble, you might as well see it through to the end. So you definitely need a good way and a good place to deal with all the lumber that comes off the mill. Everybody talks about how fast, you know, a mill will saw. Yeah, that's important if you're a production operation. But for like doing what I do, it's all about handling the lumber that comes off the mill and how to properly take care of it. I think that's one of the most important things. Now, my mill is fully hydraulic, and that definitely speeds things up. But the main priority for me to get a fully hydraulic mill is you're not getting any younger, and it just makes it more enjoyable. I had that injury where I had the degloving incident on my finger on my manual mill, and the hydraulic mill just makes everything faster, easier, and more enjoyable for me. That's why I got the hydraulic mill. I'm not out to make, you know, sawing 5,000 board feet a day or anything like that. This is just one of the many things we do. I've been hitting it pretty hard here lately, just building inventory. We got the logs and I got the room, so, and the kiln. We got the pad poured. The kiln will be up and running here soon. Matter of fact, the electrician is going to be here in about 15 minutes. He's not going to do it today, but he's going to see what he needs to run power to it. So we're getting close on that. But anyway, that's the story on that. I love cherry lumber. I do. I know it's not as popular as it once was, but I think we need to make cherry great again.